It's 6 p.m. You have been waiting for your partner to come home all day. You've actually been looking forward to it. You missed them. You've been replaying a scenario in your head where they walk through the door, give you a hug, and you have a nice, relaxing evening. You feel a genuine longing for connection. Then the key turns in the lock, the door opens, they walk in, they look tired, they drop their keys on the table, and maybe they don't say hello immediately, or maybe they go straight to the fridge. And suddenly, in the span of a single microsecond, that longing you felt all day vanishes. It is replaced by a hot, sharp spike of irritation. You look at them and you don't see the person you missed. You see an enemy. You see someone who doesn't care. So you say something. You don't say, "I missed you." Instead, you say, "Did you seriously leave your shoes there again?" Or, "Oh, so you're just gonna ignore me?" Or, "I see you didn't do the dishes like you said you would." They get defensive. You get louder. And 5 minutes later, you are in a screaming match about dishes or shoes or the tone of their voice. You are fighting with the person you wanted to hug. And later that night, when you are lying in bed, angry and alone on your side of the mattress, you feel crazy. You think, why did I do that? I wanted to be close to them. Why did I push them away the second they got here? If you have ever felt this specific type of confusion, where your actions are the exact opposite of your desires, you are not crazy, you're not toxic, and you are not broken. You are experiencing a very specific psychological phenomenon called protest behavior. It is a mechanism deeply hardwired into your nervous system designed to answer one terrifying question: do I still matter to you? Today, we are going to dissect why your brain chooses conflict over connection, why fighting actually feels safer than asking for love, and how to stop sabotaging the intimacy you're desperate to have. To understand why you pick fights with people you love, we have to stop looking at this as a relationship problem and start looking at it as a survival problem. We need to talk about attachment theory, but specifically the biology of it. In psychology, there's a concept called the primal panic. To understand this, imagine a human infant. For a human baby, isolation is not just sad, isolation is death. A baby cannot hunt, it cannot regulate its own body temperature, and it cannot fight off predators. If a baby's left alone, it dies. Therefore, the human brain evolved a built-in alarm system that is hypersensitive to separation. When a caregiver leaves the room or stops paying attention, the baby's brain doesn't think, "Oh, mom is busy." The baby's brain enters a state of life or death panic. The amygdala, the brain's fear center, lights up. This triggers a massive release of cortisol and adrenaline. The baby cries, screams, and thrashes. This is not the baby being difficult. This is the baby protesting the separation to survive. The scream says, "Look at me, come back, ensure my survival." Now, fast forward 30 years. You are an adult. You can feed yourself, you can survive on your own. But if you have an anxious attachment style, perhaps because your emotional needs were not consistently met as a child, that primal wiring is still very much active. Your brain still equates emotional disconnection with death. When your partner comes home and looks at their phone instead of you, or when they seem distant and cold, your conscious mind knows they're just tired. But your subconscious mind, that primal part of your brain, registers a threat. It says, the bond is breaking, you're being abandoned, we are unsafe. This kicks you into fight or flight. But you don't want to flee because you want to be close to them, so you go into fight. This is what psychologists call protest behavior. Protest behavior is any action that tries to reestablish contact with an attachment figure by force. It is a desperate attempt to get a reaction. It includes things like excessive calling, keeping score, trying to make them jealous, withdrawing to punish them, or the most common one, picking a fight. You aren't fighting about the dishes. The dishes are just the excuse. You are fighting because your nervous system is screaming, "I need to know you are still here. I need to know you still care enough to react to me." This brings us to the great paradox. Why conflict? Why, when we feel lonely, do we choose aggression? Logic says that if you want a hug, you should ask for a hug. If you want reassurance, you should say, "I feel insecure."
But to the anxiously attached brain, vulnerability feels dangerous. If you say, I miss you, and they don't respond, you risk total rejection. That is a confirmation that you don't matter. That is too painful to risk. So the brain chooses a backdoor route: aggression. Here is the dark secret of protest behavior: negative attention is better than no attention. Think about it. If your partner is ignoring you to watch TV, you feel invisible. You feel like you don't exist. That is the primal panic. But if you pick a fight, if you yell, you never help around the house. What happens? They turn off the TV. They look at you. They engage with you. Sure, they're angry. Sure, they're yelling back. But they are looking at you. They are expending energy on you. In a twisted way, the fight reassures your subconscious mind. It says, okay, I still have the power to affect them. I still matter enough to make them angry. We are entangled. In that moment of conflict, the silence is broken. You have successfully grabbed their attention. You have alleviated the panic of being invisible, but you've done it by setting the house on fire. This is why you feel that sudden spike of rage when they walk in the door. It's a preemptive strike. You are feeling vulnerable because you miss them, and that vulnerability feels like weakness. So your defense mechanism kick in and hand you a shield and a sword. It transforms your sadness into anger, because anger feels powerful. Anger feels protective. Sadness feels like you're begging. Anger feels like you're demanding. You are not crazy. You are trying to regulate your anxiety. You are trying to soothe that terrified inner child who thinks they're being left behind. You are just using a tool that destroys the very thing you are trying to build. The tragedy of protest behavior is that it works in the short term, but it destroys you in the long term. In the short term, yes, you get their attention. You get the high of the interaction. But think about what this does to your partner, especially if they have a slightly avoidant attachment style. Your partner comes home seeking peace. They are met with hostility. They don't see the hurt child inside you who just missed them. They see an angry adult attacking them over dirty dishes. They feel criticized. They feel inadequate. They feel like they can never do anything right. So what do? They withdraw. They shut down. They leave the room or they stop talking. And this confirms your worst fear. Your brain says, see, I knew it. They don't care. They're walking away. But they're not walking away because they don't love you. They are walking away because you are attacking them. You have created a self-fulfilling prophecy. You feared abandonment, so you acted in a way that forced them to abandon you to protect their own peace. This cycle is exhausting. It is exhausting for them, but it is heartbreaking for you. Because underneath that anger, underneath the screaming about the dishes or the text or the time, is a person who is just incredibly lonely and wants to be held. You are banging on the door to get them to open it, but you are banging so hard that you are scaring them into locking it. So how do we stop? How do we break a biological habit that feels like survival? The first step is compassionate awareness. You have to stop shaming yourself for this. If you beat yourself up, if you say, I'm such a psycho, I always ruin things, you just create more shame. Shame creates anxiety, and anxiety creates more protest behavior. Recognize the sensation. Next time you feel that sudden urge to pick a fight, or that flash of heat when they don't text back fast enough, pause. Treat it as data. Say to yourself, I am not angry about the dishes. I am experiencing panic because I feel disconnected. Label it. This is protest behavior. Once you label it, you can try to do the hardest thing in the world: translate the protest. You have to translate the surface complaint into the deeper truth. The protest is, you're always late, you don't respect my time. The translation is, I was waiting for you and I got scared you weren't coming. The protest is, you care more about your phone than me. The translation is, I'm feeling lonely right now and I need some connection. I know this sounds terrifying. Saying, I feel lonely feels like handing someone a loaded gun. It requires you to drop the shield. But here is the truth. Vulnerability is the only thing that actually creates the safety you are looking for. If you attack your partner, they will defend themselves. If you reveal your hurt to your partner, they will move and comfort you. Instead of the fight, try the soft startup. When they come home and you feel like irritation, take a breath. Go to another room for 2 minutes if you have to. Regulate your own nervous system. Shake your hands, take a deep breath. Remind your amygdala, I am safe. I'm an adult. I am not being abandoned. Then go back and try to speak the translation. Hey, I'm feeling a little off tonight. I missed you today, and I think I'm just needing some reassurance. It will feel weird, it will feel uncomfortable, but notice what happens. Notice if the dynamic shifts. You are worthy of love without having to fight for it. You don't need to scream to be heard. You don't need to set the house on fire just to see if they'll come running with the hose. You matter. You exist, and it is safe to just say, I miss you.